My name is Thuch Madhier. I'm a Resolution Project Fellow and also the founder of Rainmaker Enterprise. Rainmaker Enterprise is addressing the challenge of lack of water infrastructure in South Sudan, and also food insecurity, as well as poverty that face a lot of millions of people in South Sudan. We are establishing solar-powered water infrastructure that will allow communities to engage in year-round farming activities, as well as feed their livestock, and also provide clean water to communities that are some members of the community dying from waterborne diseases, and other livestock that are also dying from lack of water and waterborne diseases as well. The lack of sustainable economic development in South Sudan and the indignity that comes out of that, especially for people that are in fragile states, and how the world is usually afraid to establish sustainable infrastructures in these places that are fragile, because security risks are things that people would usually scare people away. So I told myself, if the world is afraid to step into this area, I will try my best to also step in, because I personally went through some of the things that these people are actually going through at the moment. My experience involved being forced out of my home country because of war and because of lack of infrastructure, for example, education services and a safe environment for education, and having to flee the country forcefully to live in a refugee camp, and eventually, getting a rare opportunity to study in Canada and live there as a permanent resident. So I told myself, now that I have all these opportunities at my disposal, why don't I be part of a solution that is sustainable, that is, looking at a systemic nature of the challenges that exist. I had an unfortunate experience of witnessing somebody die because of hunger. And it's an image that is stuck in my head. Like, just knowing, it's one thing to see somebody die of a bullet, but it is another thing to see someone die because of hunger, because they can't find food. And that is usually something that whenever I go to sleep every night, I think about that, about how Rainmaker Enterprise can actually create that impact to create, sustainable food production platform for a lot of communities, so that no one should actually die because of no food. So, well, Resolution Project really has been my launch pad for Rainmaker Enterprise. So I think Resolution Project is an invaluable platform that has enabled me to impact people's life. I'm able now to inspire so many young people that you can actually come up with an idea and you can move on, you can build. The idea that at any point when I feel lost, I have people that I'm matched with that I can reach out to at any time, and to be able to walk me through some dark paths that I cannot walk alone is something that I really find useful. I think the role that young leaders play in the world today is to bring their optimism and time and energy, and direct them towards actually creating sustainable solutions. And I think a lot of young leaders have demonstrated that there is a new way to actually go about creating long-lasting change. The world is very interconnected, and without looking at the social impact and looking only at one bottom line, then we know what the result of that has been. So I think there is something that is really powerful about making a dent, and as well as impacting people's lives for the better. I think that's something that should be attractive not only to young people but to everybody.